Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back. Today I will be painting a model from the Malifaux game. It's called Free Hugs. And I got this model at a paint and take at Adepticon. And so I started painting it there. It wasn't the cleanest. Like, they didn't clean up all the mold lines and such. So I went ahead and tried my best to clean up some of the mold lines, and so now I've just started repainting it. So I went in with my airbrush a little bit because I was trying to get some fast color back onto the model and like cover up the places that I scratched up with the when I was removing the mold lines. So here we are. We have some color on there, and but basically I was kind of starting over. Which is fine. It looks much cooler than I initially thought. 100% expected it to be tiny. Yeah, it is a decent size. What can I quickly grab as a comparison? Cultist for scale. It is quite large. Alright, the real question is what to do first. I think I'm gonna because I did most of my dry brushing and stuff was on the coat, since that takes up most of that's like the bulk of the miniature. There were a lot of mold lines on that part in particular. So I'll actually be focusing on parts other than the coat to give that a little time to set, since I came in with the airbrush on it. So yeah, just kind of base coating parts of the miniature that aren't the coat. So a little bit of background on this model. This is part of the Nightmare faction in Malifaux, and essentially, this guy, or the kind of the head of the faction, he's a kid who just lives in like the regular human world, but he has a special ability that he has very powerful dreams, and so in his dreams he creates these monsters and stuff that are alive in the universe of Malifaux. And so this monstrosity is like one of his... Yeah, it's kind of like Andy from Toy Story, yeah. Except the toys are monstrosities in an alternate dimension that wreak havoc on the inhabitants there. So, pretty cool. I think the way he got this ability is there's essentially like a demonic entity that's like latched onto him. So it's this kid and this demonic entity like creating these nightmares that and that's how they interact with the world of Malifaux. You know, I don't know a whole lot about the Malifaux lore. I kind of just know what I learned, you know, during the event at Adepticon, where I was talking with other people who did know. But I don't think there are good or bad factions. Much like 40K, where they're just kind of trying to exist in the world and vying for control over certain areas of the world to serve their own benefits. But something cool about Malifaux is that they tend to, or is that they have started making like alternative sculpts, and so this is the alternative sculpt for a model. The original model is called Lord Chompy Bits. And so this one, Free Hugs, is like an alternative model for that. Which I think it's very cool. And the alternative sculpt is very different from the original. Like they're not even remotely the same. Which I think is pretty cool. So this boy with the imagination. Yeah, they don't stay. I don't think they don't stay in his dreams. He like when he dreams them up, they get created in Malifaux, and then, you know, work to do his bidding in that world. I'm gonna try and get some of these minis. Yeah, I would recommend it. They're pretty cool minis. They're fun to paint. Like this one is quite simple compared to, you know, like Games Workshop minis. We were talking about this yesterday about how detailed and like complicated a lot of the Games Workshop sculpts are, that makes them kind of hard to paint. This one is fairly simple, and again, it's a slightly larger mini, so the details are like easier to paint just in general. With the amount of trim I paint, I could do with a simple canvas, for sure. So where are my blood angels? Yo, I can't get them that fast, bro. That was like, we had that conversation less than 24 hours ago. I promise I'll get my hands on some blood angels, and I'll paint them soon. But you gotta give me like at least a week. So just some of the other models from Malifaux that I got at Adepticon. These guys are really cool. They're called the Puppetocalypse. Sorry. And these are some more. You can see they're like twisted alternatives. They're like alternative sculpts again. And what's funny about these is that the actual horsemen are they're much larger scale. So like these are small puppets, right? And so the bases that they come on are like, you know, this big, but then the model's like this big, right? Because like in terms of the game, right, it has to have the same base size. But there's these kind of tiny puppets on these enormous bases, which I think is kind of cool. And then here's another one that I got. It's a performer, and you can kind of see this one, as you can see, much smaller scale. But yeah, it comes on a sprue. The bases are interesting. I don't know how I like them, but you can see they have like a lip. You can kind of see the lip there. Yeah, evil. I don't remember what. Did you say what kind of model you wanted me to get? I know that you were talking yesterday we were talking about a couple of different models. Did you have one in particular that you wanted me to get? Why a lip? What's the benefit? I have no idea, actually. And I don't know if it's good or bad. Like, it's just a difference that I noticed. Here's some other ones that I got, of course. I got Sylvaneth models. I love the tree people. So I had to get some tree people from Malifaux as well. It's just required, you know. Angry tree people, you just gotta do it. Dante or Mephisto would be cool. Alright, sounds good. I can do that. What did the tree people look like? There you go. Here's the box. Pretty, well, there, now it's in focus. Pretty scary. I think this is, they're a part of the, Revenant faction. So they're like undead trees, essentially. I think that's the vibe I'm getting from my limited knowledge of the lore. They look super cool, almost like something I'm going to buy. Yeah. I was like, I just gotta get some. There were some other, like, there's a few different, like, spooky tree sculpts. One of the factions is like a hag who can, you know, see the future. And so the hag is working to, like, make the future that she sees and wants a reality. And so her faction is like a lot of tree people, a lot of, like, creepy crawly monsters and stuff. Sadly, they didn't have those. I couldn't buy them. And I was like, bro, I totally would have bought this hag and tree people. Like, it's game-o. I found a site that sells Malifaux. It's all over now. Oh no. I'll truly never see grass again. No. That's okay. Just put some grass on the bases. That's the same thing, right? Welcome to the dream world. Yo. My goodness. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know how you like this kind of content. I'm definitely, going to remain a Warhammer content creator, but I think it's cool to show off minis from other companies as well. They do have there are some great miniature companies out there. Another one that that has been popping off recently is Trench Crusade. So I thought I might get a Trench Crusade model to paint on stream as well. You can only get your hands on the Nean faction? Why is that? Just from the site that you went to, or what? I'm down to watch any minis be painted. Huh, that's so weird. Yeah, I noticed that at Adepticon as well, that they had a limited stock of what they were selling. I wonder if that's just because they're not as big of a a miniature company as Games Workshop is, so they don't their stuff isn't in stock. They're not as well stocked as other gaming companies, which is a bit tragic. Heretics continue to assault my stream. Hopefully this time I don't accidentally ban Oh, thank you. I needed that. Last time I accidentally banned the Dark Mage. When I was trying to ban the bot. It was bad. Dark... Yeah. It's okay, this time my mod did it, so no mistakes were made. You're safe. Wait, really? No. Can you see the record? Sleeping? Like by clicking on their names in mod mode? And it says he was banned from my chat. Bro, that's so tragic. Oh, pretty sure it's only for this stream. Okay. So I will know that I banned him. Of a permanent reminder of my mistakes. That's so funny. Got it. That's tough. I was banned and lived to tell the tale, yo. The only ban who was reborn into unbanhood. Hey Kamikaze, how's it going? How have you been? I alone am a god against men. For real. Yeah, it's been a sec. I'm glad you've been doing well. Today I am painting a model from the Malifaux games. It's called Free Hugs, and it's a banger. Oh, I forgot one of his straps. My goodness. We are almost done with these chains. The chains took a while to paint the first time, and apparently that didn't change. My goodness. And an Arcanist starter set for Malifaux? Nice! The first time I've seen these figs, they seem amazing. They are quite cool. I have to look into Malifaux a bit deeper. I want to see how the game is played and if I'm interested. How do you play the game? Is it like 40k? So, from what I understand, it's a skirmish game, kind of like Kill Team, or Warcry, and they, I think it's a card game. So, but I don't know a whole lot about how it works, so. If you ever pick up some of the Sultanate models from Trench Crusade, tell me what day. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, yeah, because I saw Trench Crusade, and it's been popping off. People really like the models and stuff. So I was like, you know, maybe I'll grab some Trench Crusade models. But, yeah, I'll see if I can get my hands on some of the Sultanate models. Another thing is, about Trench Crusade, is that they are... You can just buy, like, the 3D file for the models and print them yourselves. So it might be a lot easier for me to get my hands on some of those models. Since I have a 3D printer. Yeah, for example, let's see if I have the... Oh, yeah, here we go. Can I get the card on this little bag? Out of this little bag? Alright, so like, this is what a Malifaux, like, rule card looks like. Not gonna lie, there's a lot of words. But it seems like there's a lot of like depth to the game, which is cool. Is it a bear and a honey badger merged creature? I see the face of a bear. Yeah, so it's it's like a teddy bear that is that has been like chained up and has claws. So you can see like it's very much like a teddy bear in appearance, but then it has a monster coming out of its stomach, and yeah, it's got those enormous claws. I may live in the Warhammer Holy Land, but every other popular war game at the minute is an absolute pain in the neck to try and acquire. Yeah, that's tough. But I feel your pain because I do not live in the Warhammer Holy Land. So it's the exact opposite for me. Where sometimes it's really hard to get Warhammer models, but for some reason all the other miniature companies are the Mimical Honeyberry Badger. Of course. Yeah, here you go. Here's Snuggles card. So, yeah, I mean the cards come with the model, like they come in the same box. So, I don't think you have to buy like separate rules for all the models, which is a plus. Like if you don't have to buy a separate rule book for like your faction, like that seems like a definite plus. It appears we have reached an impasse. No! What happened? Are you just unable to get a hold of the minis? Not paying scalper prices, yeah. Not able to get the other than eBay. Yeah, I don't know. I have found that I have pretty good luck finding things on eBay, but yeah, sometimes you do run into scalper prices. That's tough. The impasse costs $3K to pass it? No. Rip. And I'm assuming like your local game store doesn't sell Malifaux minis either. Yeah, because like my local game store has it, but I need to go. All right, sounds good, Kamikaze. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, like yeah, as I was saying, like my game store has them, but also I'm pretty sure that Weird Games is based out of America, so that would explain why. I have access. Oh, it only deals in retro stuff? Interesting. Huh. So they have like a lot of bolt action then? I think that's the name of the game, right? Bolt action. Yeah, they also have a lot of metal minis from 90s war games. Interesting. I mean, that's kind of cool, but also, like, rip. Rip for modern wargaming. There's a huge Risk board set. It's Star Wars Legion where we have to go next. All right, I'll start making a list. Of models and games that I'll be streaming for like the next month. They have a huge Risk board set. That's kind of cool. This music kind of fits the vibe of the stream, huh? Has big game days on Fridays where they dedicated. It's dedicated to the Napoleonic Wars. Huh. I do not know the war game that you're talking about, but that sounds really cool. The store's been doing that game day longer than I've been alive. That's crazy. Bro. This stream is also just kind of turning into a an ad for the Rogue Hobbies signature set. Hashtag not a sponsor, but some cool colors. Louise for the win, for real. Closing in on 10k points? Of what? Oh, on, oh, for channel points, channel points. Got it. Do you have something in mind for the next mini to paint? I also kind of want to save up for 20k. Got it, got it, got it. Just the pure status of when I redeem it, Max. I have kind of just been taking suggestions and stuff. Maybe I should stop taking suggestions and funnel it through channel points instead. But maybe then I'll lower the cost of the suggest the next thing I paint. Make it more accessible to people. I have a devious plan, wah. Yo. Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, Evil, if you're still in here, if you could let me know how many channel points you have. Because I was struggling when I was creating the channel point rewards to figure out how much they should cost. I'm like, bro, I don't know how many points you guys have. I have 9.8k. 3K? Okay. I should probably lower some of those point costs then. Because you guys are here all the time. You're the kind of people that I want redeeming those big rewards, you know? So if you guys can't afford it, then we got some problems. Suffering from dehydration so I can save up, facts. I'm gonna be a dried up husk of a man by the time Dark Mage has has enough points. Oh, thank you, Sleepy. Picking up the slack. Actually, I don't even have my water. Hold up. Oh, actually, I'm gonna dry up. Holy. Alright, I'm back. Yo. Can I do a poll to collect input on the next model instead? I could. I just kind of wanted it to be a channel point reward, but if it's if it doesn't work out well as a channel point reward, then I'm not gonna force it, right? A poll might just be a better way to do it. And maybe I'll do a poll. I'll do it in the Discord, so that you know, like if you're not in stream on the day I decide to do the poll, then 37K. Sleepy is rich. But yeah, I think I'll run a poll in the Discord server if I can figure out how to do that. I think that'll be a better way to get the kind of thing like, what model should I paint next, you know? Yo, 44.5K. Yo, that's a few points. Can we do a poll on Discord after I flashily use my channel points? Yeah, if you want to use your channel points on a channel point reward that's going away, go for it. What just happened? I just got a banner. One sec. Oh. Oh, got it. Like a banner flashed across my screen, but it didn't show up in the in my alerts, which is kind of worrying me, actually. Thank you for the resubscription. I appreciate it. I will be the first banned, unbanned, and the first to redeem the 10k channel point. Dark Mage will be a living legend in the chat. I'm nothing if not here to test the tech. Yeah, facts. I don't know why that didn't work. Oh well. The Chuck Norris of the stream chat. For real. I'm actually just here advertising all of the Signature Series paint sets. I think the colors I've used so far are Vince's set, the Rogue Hobbies set. That's it, just those two actually. Yeah, Vince and Louise. I gotta call them up. Mr. Universe in the stream chat, Pitbull, yo. Yo. But yeah, Dark Mage, if you want, so like currently what I'm thinking is getting rid of the choose the model I paint next, and moving the commission down to 10k. So if you just want to wait until I do that to do the redemption, we can do that instead. You can get your legend status, and I can do a commission for you. I'd actually really like to meet Vince. He seems like someone I would love to talk to about hobbying. At Adepticon, I saw all of the famous people. I didn't go up and talk to any of them though, because I was scared. It's a bit intimidating seeing them in person. They're absolute legends. But I did meet and talk to Louise from Rogue Hobbies. I saw Vince. I saw Ninjon. I saw Duncan from Tooth and Coats. Who else did I see? I saw Artist Opus. Louise for the win, part 2. Yeah, facts. Who else did I see? I saw a bunch of them. Hey Deja Vu, how's it going? I did see Jay from Eons of Battle too. Yeah. I don't remember him being that short. But he definitely wasn't tall. Just made a good dinner and I'm chilling. Oh, hold up. What'd you make for dinner? First of all, that sounds banging. So I'm painting free hugs from the Malifaux range. Yeah, it is kind of just like a mimic teddy bear. But more lore accurately, it's a nightmare teddy bear, but same kind of thing. Hey, no worries, bro. I appreciate you being on and collecting channel points. So, thanks for just being here. Did I ever tell you I really hate mimics? Oh no. Did you have a bad run-in with a mimic? They are quite terrifying. I found a YouTube channel called Malifaux University. Interesting. Is it like teaching people how to play and like keeping up with the meta of the game kind of thing? A bad run-in, so my party got into an old hag house. We climbed the stairs and the mimic appeared. Oh no! Killed the second. It was a fucking no! 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 That's crazy. Your game master is a real menace for that one. It's on a guild starter box video. Cool. I prefer to fight a mind flayer than a mimic. Yeah. Although mind flayers are also quite terrifying. I don't know if I could say the same. I think I might rather fight a mimic. Alright, let's see if we can get some shading down now that we got all these nice base coats. I'm actually gonna spray this really quick with a varnish too, just so that I can, because I was like I said, that's at the start of the stream, but I didn't like how many mold lines were on the model, so I kind of scratched off some of the paint and primer and like repainted it. So just to kind of lock in those areas where there's no primer undercoat, I'm gonna do a quick blast with a varnish to kind of protect those layers and make sure I don't peel off that paint. This is something that you can do. Yeah, varnish is a great way, like if you, for some reason, can't prime a Mini or you don't want to, like, if you just do a base coat and then apply a varnish over top, it can kind of achieve the same goal as priming it. Where you're like not chipping off paint as easily, not pulling it off the model, not losing your work. At level 7 it was quite fun. Trying to fund my new Malifaux addiction. No! Yo, what happened to our discussion from yesterday? Right, so Blood Angels, right? Yo. Malifaux is the game that that this model is from. It's a I think it's a skirmish game, but really I just have the models because they're cool models. So just like some of the models that I have on hand, of course, free HUGS, the Puppetocalypse, some spooky tree people. Whoa. A fire dancer. What else? A clown. Spooky clown dude. So I think they're pretty cool. That's why I bought some, but do I have Commander Burrow from Malifaux? I do not. I'm actually not even sure. Yeah, it's a war game. Yeah. The clown looks cool. Yeah, it does. I'm definitely excited to paint all these models at some point. I don't know how many of them I'm gonna do on stream, but. Yeah, I don't have Commander Burra. I'm going to have to, You're asking a lot of questions, Deja Vu, and they're very good questions, but I don't have a lot of answers. I should have studied up on, on Malifaux before I streamed one of the models. But yeah, like I said, I kind of just have the models because they're cool. I don't know a whole lot about the game, so sorry. I wish I had answers for you. Yeah, we're here for the hobby, for sure. Join me in the hunt for Malifaux knowledge. I need to feed one addiction at a time, yo. I'm attending Malifaux University. If I don't walk out of this with a whole degree, I'm gonna be pissed. Yeah. As you should. False advertising if you don't, honestly. Let's see if I can get some nice shading in here. I'm having to fight the shade paint a little bit. Do you think the Warhammer show will be on Ultramarines? Yeah. It's played on a 3-foot by 3-foot table. That's kind of nice. That's a lot smaller than like Warhammer is, which is good because it is truly an absurdly large table that Warhammer's played on, you know? I do think it'll be on Ultramarines, tragically. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, actually. Because, yeah, as we've seen from, like, Space Marine 2? We can have some really good like Ultramarine content, you know? Feels like more like Malifaux primary school than university, oh no. I mean, the game sounds super cool. I think it'll be okay with Ultramarine Show. I get to know more stories about them. Yeah. They are kind of boring, just kind of like because of how much content there is about Ultramarines out there. But, like I said, that doesn't mean the show will be bad, right? Because they've shown that they can definitely make like really good content about Ultramarines. Think I'm going off. See ya. Have a nice rest of your day, Evil. I appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out. And I'll let you know when I get my hands on a Dark Angels mini to, or I'm sorry, a Blood Angels mini to paint. No dice needed. The luck aspect of the game is what you draw from your deck, called the Fate deck. Huh. Ow. Each suit of cards reflects an aspect of the game. That's pretty cool. Sounds like an interesting change of pace from like dice games and stuff. Loyalist, Marines, or traitor? Yo. Why not both? The other two are too much for you, you guess? Got it. Yeah, Alpha Legion is definitely cool. Are you planning on getting some Alpha Legion models? Is that why you were asking? Are we deciding the fate of your hobby purchases? I do want to get my hands on some Alpha Legion. Cool, cool. Yeah, Alpha Legion is a little bit more is a little bit difficult to get your hands on, just because it's part of the Heresy game, and it's like it's resin models, but or at least they're hard for me to get my hands on. I'm sure Dark Mage, who lives in the Holy Land, will the Warhammer Holy Land will be able to get his hands on them, no problem. I guess I'll have to save up Space Marines, yeah. see if we can get a little more shading in here with the just with the airbrush to speed some things up. Yo, keep this model in a well-lit location. It's some serious nightmare fuel, for real. Five Nights at Freddy type shit, yeah. For real. Coming in and quickly applying some shadows to certain parts of the model. Nothing too crazy, but again, just to mostly just speed up the process. Kind of emphasize some parts of the model. Can I ask what the creature caster stuff is that you picked up from the Adepticon? Are they minis? Yeah. Give me a sec. I'll pull them out. What's the next step for this mini? So, as you can see, I was kind of going around and applying some shading to the coat. Generally, I like to apply shading before I do highlighting, and my highlighting will generally look like it'll be a lot of stippling. So, for example, the top of the head, I'll be making lots of small lines, with the goal being I want it to look like fur. So when I'm highlighting up, I won't be doing such hard, smooth transitions. I'll be trying to create a lot of texture to make it look like fur. Similarly, with the coat and the leather straps, the goal is to make it look like worn leather. And so I'll be making, like cracks and marks to hopefully give it a more textured feel. That's where I'm going next for this guy. All right. So yeah, I got a couple miniatures from Creature Caster at Adepticon as well. Let me see if I can kind of pull them out so you guys can see. So this one is it's a demon. So it's like a giant eyeball with like horns and tentacles and such. And then he has a demonic master. It's kind of like a robed skeleton, almost. You can see this is its staff here. I would love to paint those. Yeah, this guy looks pretty awesome. I think he comes. I think there's a version where he's riding on the mini and standing. I could be wrong about that, but I think he comes both as his own standalone model, but then also as a rider for this like eyeball demon. Request the demonic master as the next mini, please. Yeah, sure, go for it, bro. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll look to get this. I'll look to get this built and painted for next week. So yeah, just keep your. I mean, assuming that you'll be able to make next week's streams. If you can't make next week's streams, just send me a message on Discord and I'll get it. I'll do it another day. And then this second one is called the Lady Arcana, I believe. It's kind of a I would say it's like a Tzeentch Magnus looking model. I'll be able to make next week's stream. Cool, sounds good. So yeah, there's some cool bits. I don't know if I can show the body on stream actually. But you can look it up for sure. Oh, well, now I feel like I jumped the gun. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I can paint this on stream. I'll have to check the rules. But if you wanna do a quick Google search for the Creature Caster Lady of Arcana, you can kind of see what it looks like. Thank you, sir, for the hydrate. But yeah, also, Dark Mage, if you change your mind on what you want me to paint, just let me know. I'm not gonna hold you to your Yeah, holy smokes, Lady Arcana is quite the model. Yeah, it is. It's a model and a half, for sure. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not entirely sure I can show that on stream, but it's a good one. The real question is, the first thing that comes to my head is, shut up and take my money for real. I mean, I saw it at Adepticon. I bought it, so I did that exact thing. We need the assets. I don't think you understand. Yo. Adding some quick shading to the model, just to make sure we have some good separation between certain parts. And you can't have good silver metallic without slapping Nuln Oil on it. So, you know. The first thing I thought of, I'm gonna make a custom Thousand Suns Legion. They're the sons of the goddess, and Lady Arcana certainly looks to be the part. Yeah? I mean, if you wanna grab one for yourself, it's a really cool model. So, Creature Caster is resin though. Just as a heads up. So I don't know how you feel about the resin models and stuff. Might take a little bit more work to put together than other plastic kits. Like the staff is definitely gonna need a little bit of work with like a heat gun to get it to be unbent. They feel different when you paint them. No, yeah, it's because once you apply the primer, it's all the same, right? But resin is a little bit harder to put together because like you have to use super glue, so like you can't use plastic glue or like the sprue glue, right, to like gap fill and stuff. You have to gap fill with like green stuff or milliput or whatever. It's a little bit more brittle than plastic is. So it's not as easy as plastic is to work with. Plastic is like really nice. With the plastic glue and you know how sturdy and flexible it is. As long as it's not Forge World. Yeah, Forge World is, for some reason, particularly bad resin. This hobby feels like art class and chemistry combined. It is a little bit, yeah. Working with all the different materials and stuff can be a lot. It can start to feel like chemistry class. Yeah, and then like, you know, resin can sometimes come warped and stuff. So you have to like, you know, warp it back. Usually the way I do it is I get a cup of like boiling water, and you stick the resin in the boiling water for I think it's like 30 seconds, and bring it out, and then you can reshape it. And then, you know, you just let it set in its new shape, and it sets as it cools. So there's a little bit more know-how that you need that you don't need while working with the plastic stuff. And design technology with 3D printing, yeah. I'm just now getting into like 3D modeling and design for miniatures and stuff. So hopefully that can come along soon. Cuz I'm working with Blender. My goal is to 3D print some bits for the base of my Chaos Knight that I've, you know, been painting on stream and stuff. So actually, I'm kind of, part of the reason I'm taking a little bit of a break from my Chaos Knight is because I need to learn how to use Blender. And it's not that easy of a task. Holy. That was a bit too much Nuln Oil. I was not paying attention. You just bought one? A 3D printer? Nice. That's awesome. What kind of 3D printer did you buy? I've seen... Oh, you bought the Lady of Arcana? Nice. Nice. We love a good queen, you know? Especially one with giant magic wings and a cool staff, you know? It's my Magnus proxy. 64 pounds? Yeah. It's... I thought Creature Caster was okay price-wise. It wasn't terribly expensive, but it also definitely wasn't cheap. Definitely cheaper than buying Magnus, though, you know? All right. I'm gonna use some Leviathan blue contrast paint to get some shading on the blue areas. But after that, I'm gonna start highlighting. Usually 72 pounds, so yeah, not a little bit of savings, yeah. I also think it's like roughly the same size as Magnus. Although I don't have a Magnus model, so I can't say that for sure. But I think they're roughly the same size. So my Shadows of Nyx, where it's just Thousand Suns, but instead of dust, they're a Legion of Protectors of the Goddess of Nights, yeah. Trying to fill Magnus as the centerpiece. Hey, hey! Look at that dub! I'm glad I could help. Random talk about the models I got at Adepticon. Helped you fill out your model, or helped you fill out your army. That's great. Alright, let's see if we can start working up some good texture here. So I'm currently working with white, blue, and turquoise. And I think I'm going to start with the turquoise, but I'm also going to mix up some midtones here. I think I need some more white blue. This dark turquoise is super saturated. And I'm trying to desaturate the hell out of it. This is Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl. But, you know, basically just a turquoise and a really light blue. And you could do the same with like white, right? Like, I'm just using light blue because, you know, I have a light blue. But you could do this with white, right? Just adding less white in there, right? Because in the end, I don't think I want to build all the way up to white. So you can just see, I'm just kind of coming in and applying like really quick strokes with a small brush. And the way I'm gonna build up color is by applying more marks higher up on the model, right? So like I want the upper areas of the head to be brighter, so I'm going to apply more brush strokes up top than I will down low. This is just this is a technique called stippling. You're building up texture and blending using small marks instead of solid lines. Oh? Someone mentioned One Piece? Oh! I read Malifaux, it feels like Magic the Gathering, but also has models to represent the cards. Just don't like Magic the Gathering? Got it. One Piece is outrageously good anime. Yo. That is the truth, if I ever heard it. I recently just got one of my friends to start watching One Piece. He just got to the Marineford arc, and he's like, wait, this anime is really good, and I'm like, bro, that's what I've been telling you. I don't know why you weren't listening. Good thing Magic the Gathering isn't the real game. Yo. Who's your favorite character? Robin? But yo. Yeah, Robin's a great character. Mine is Usopp? Oh no. Zoro and Jinbei? Yeah. When I got to the Nami, or bro, never gonna recover from Arlong Park. Oh no. Yeah, that was kind of the start of the like really tragic backstories. Like I think before that we got Sanji's backstory and it was pretty tragic, but Arlong Park was pretty tragic. When I tell someone to watch One Piece, I tell them to finish Arlong Park. If you don't like it, drop it. Yeah, I agree. I think Arlong Park is a good representation of the show. But it definitely builds up like really well. So like even though Arlong Park is a good like representation of like what the show is, it gets so much better than Arlong Park. just because it continues to build off, you know, all the characters and stuff. Chopper is underrated, I think. Yeah. Robin's backstory had me in tears. It did. Robin's backstory was so sad. Part of what makes Enies Lobby such a good arc. I really like Brooks' backstory. Brooks' backstory was great. I think the whole crew has great backstories. Like I don't think any of them were bad. All of them were bangers, actually. Screaming at Luffy and Robin. Yeah. Peak peace. Manga's going wild right now. I don't read the manga, so no spoilers. But yeah. Turns me into a 5-year-old unable to control my emotions, for real. Where am I stopped? I am currently at Egghead, and actually, I don't know if I want to talk about current events because I definitely don't want to spoil it for other people. Stuff that happened like decades ago. All right, I'm good to talk about, but. Recent events, I'm a little more hesitant to have discussions about recent events. Definitely don't want to spoil like the greatest show for people, you know. Just finished Wano, yeah. What was my favorite arc? NS Lobby is up there for sure for me. But Dressrosa is also up there. I really liked Dressrosa. I thought that was an awesome arc. Arlong Park and Skypiea. Ooh, interesting. I did like Arlong Park. I didn't like Skypiea as much. And I know a lot of people really didn't like Skypiea. I thought it was good. I don't have any problems with it. But I know some people really don't like Skypiea. Like But I thought it was good. Alabasta is such a classic. It's a good one. It's a good one. Especially like Luffy versus Crocodile. Such a good fight. Just the story of what happened at Alabasta was really good. So you can kind of see the effect starting to come in, where we're giving this guy some nice fur texture on his skin here. By building up some layers of these small marks. Coda gave us a lot of foreshadowing there. GTO? I have not heard of this. I haven't heard of that anime. But yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. I'm trying to watch JoJo episodes on trying. JoJo was okay. It's a meme, for sure. But I don't know if it's like really like, you know, one of the best animes. I can only watch JoJo when I'm super high, yo. Great teacher Onizuka. It's about an ex-bike gang leader that became a teacher. That sounds awesome, actually. Is it on Crunchyroll? Just as a quick question. It's on Netflix? Alright, bet. Alright, now I'm gonna come in with a glaze of the original turquoise color here. The goal being to kind of tie everything together and bring back that nice saturated blue color. So like really thinned down turquoise here. It kind of pushes that texture that we created into the background almost. And again, brings back that nice saturated turquoise that we started with. To give us our nice furry teddy bear. Dan is perfectly okay in my opinion. Dan is kind of weird, but I like it. I had a fun time watching it, but it's weird. So like, definitely be ready for some weirdness. Gives me the feeling I used to get when I watched Jujutsu Kaisen before it became ass. Oh no. Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen did kind of fall off. I just don't like the new wave. Yeah, it's definitely not One Piece is the thing. I did like My Hero though. My Hero's a good anime, I think. Every time I look at the teddy bear, I can think, if not friend, then why friend shaped? For real, that's a good question. If not friend, why friend shaped? A mediocre manga wrapped up in a top shelf anime. It is a top tier anime. It's a banger. I have not read the manga though, so. Actually, that's a lie. I read the end of the manga because when the anime stopped, I couldn't wait for the next season. So I read the manga. You believe me that I fell asleep at the 7th episode? Oh no. I read the manga of Demon Slayer and all the fights stink, and then they made me want to throw the manga in a fire. Yo! Tried to do it 4 times. No! The animation is very dreamy. It's a entertainment district. Yeah, entertainment district was great. That was a great arc. I'm going to use the same highlight color, the white blue, to mix into the bright green that I was using for like the muzzle, I think. And like the inside of the ears. So again, keeping the cooler tone, but desaturating the color a little bit. The remaining 4 episodes of The Devil May Cry. Yeah, I've heard good things about Devil May Cry, but I haven't watched it myself. And then, of course, as always, we come in with a nice glaze of our original color to make sure that we maintain a strong, like, mid-tone of our original color. I need to green stuff some clothes. If I play, yeah. For real. It's like, I'll have to look and see what the rules are for my stream as well. Like, am I allowed to stream myself painting that model? Maybe. I might have to switch my stream to be designated like 18 plus. But I don't think any of you are younger than 18. I could be wrong though. Creature Caster has some really cool minis. They really do. I picked two of the ones that I thought were the coolest, but they definitely have some cool ones out there that I didn't get to see or didn't get my hands on. Alright, I think this is where I'm going to end it here for today. We got decently far on this guy, actually. Everything is at least base coated. And I got a lot of really nice texture built up on the head and face. I'm pretty happy with it. Where this will have to go next is, you know, working a lot more on the tongue. Because the tongue is such a, because it's a pop color with the hot pink, it draws your attention, and it's one of the main focal points of the model. So I need to spend a lot of time on the tongue. The head and tongue are kind of the two places where I would spend the most time on this miniature. So that's where I would go next. Is spending a lot of time highlighting up the tongue, and like the little teeth in there. Looking at one called Yasmin, I'll post it in the Discord. Sounds good. But yeah, next week I'll be painting the model that Dark Mage picked with his channel point reward. But I will definitely be working on finishing this guy up, and I'll make sure to post progress in the Discord. So I hope you I had a lot of fun today, and I hope you all did too. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.